Please subscribe, and you can download this code from description below. When working with web applications or APIs in Python, you might encounter a 502 bad gateway error. This error occurs when a server acting as a gateway or proxy receives an invalid response from an upstream server. One common reason for this error is miscommunication between the client and server regarding the transfer encoding header. In this tutorial, we will explore what causes this error and provide a code example on how to handle it when using the requests library. To follow this tutorial, you should have Python installed on your system and have the requests library installed. You can install the requests library using pip. The 502 bad gateway error typically occurs in the context of HTTP communication. It indicates that an intermediary server, such as a proxy or gateway, is unable to get a valid response from the upstream server it is forwarding the request to. This error can have various causes, but one common reason is a mismatch in the transfer encoding header. When a server sends an HTTP response, it includes headers that provide information about the response. The transfer encoding header specifies the encoding mechanism used to transfer the data. If the client, your Python code, and the server have conflicting transfer encoding headers, or if the server encounters issues while processing the encoding, it can result in a 502 bad gateway error. To handle a 502 bad gateway error when using Python with the requests library, you should consider the following approaches. Ensure that the URL you are requesting and the specific endpoint you are targeting are correct. Mistyped URLs or incorrect endpoints can lead to this error. Before making a request, it's a good practice to check the status of the server you are targeting. You can use the status_code attribute of the response object to determine the status code returned by the server. A 502 error typically corresponds to a status code of 502. You can set the transfer encoding header explicitly in your request. This can help ensure that both the client and server agree on the encoding mechanism. To handle the error gracefully, you can catch the exception raised by the requests library when a 502 error occurs. This way, your script won't crash, and you can implement custom error handling logic. By following these approaches, you can better handle 502 bad gateway errors in your Python code when working with transfer encoding or other potential issues during HTTP communication. Remember that 502 bad gateway errors can also be caused by issues on the server side, so it's essential to investigate both your client-side code and the server's configuration if you encounter this error. Title: Understanding and Resolving 502 Bad Gateway Errors in Python when Using Transfer Encoding. Introduction. In this tutorial, we will explore the 502 bad gateway error that can occur when working with Python web applications that use transfer encoding. We'll discuss what this error means, its common causes, and provide a Python code example to help you troubleshoot and resolve the issue. A 502 bad gateway error is an HTTP status code that indicates that one server on the internet received an invalid response from another server. In the context of transfer encoding, this error typically occurs when there is an issue in the data transmission between the client, the web server, and any proxy servers involved in the process. Common causes of 502 bad gateway errors. Server overload. The web server or proxy server is overloaded and unable to handle incoming requests, causing a timeout or error in response. Proxy configuration. Misconfigured proxy servers may not correctly handle the transfer encoding headers, leading to a 502 error. Networking issues. Network problems, such as DNS resolution failures, firewall rules, or routing issues, can disrupt data transmission. Backend server problems. The backend server that your web application relies on might be down, unresponsive, or experiencing issues. Invalid request or response. The request or response data might contain inconsistencies that the servers cannot handle. To troubleshoot and resolve a 502 bad gateway error when using transfer encoding in Python, follow these steps. Ensure that your web server, any proxy servers, and the backend server are up and running. You can use server monitoring tools or logs to diagnose server health. If you are using proxy servers, review their configurations. Check for any misconfigurations or issues with how they handle transfer encoding. Examine your networking setup for potential issues, such as DNS resolution problems, firewalls blocking traffic, or routing errors. Check if the request and response data adhere to the HTTP/1.1 specification. Ensure that transfer encoding headers and data are correctly formatted. Let's consider a Python example using the Flask web framework to demonstrate how to troubleshoot and handle a 502 bad gateway error when using transfer encoding. In this example, you should ensure that the code within the example _endpoint properly handles transfer encoding and related headers. Be vigilant in catching and handling exceptions to prevent a 502 error. 502 bad gateway errors can be challenging to troubleshoot, but by following the steps outlined in this tutorial and ensuring your code and server configuration are correct, you can minimize the occurrence of this error and keep your Python web applications running smoothly. Remember to monitor your server's health, inspect networking issues, and validate your request and response data to prevent or resolve 502 errors. ChatGPT